our next guest is brand architect Victor Van Scoit. Victor is here to help you uncover the touch points that matter most and what conversations your brand advocates want to have in these new virtual and hybrid spaces. Victor, thank you for joining us.
This really shouldn't be all that special, but it does become a ritual. As ritual, only a select few coffee brands are able to demand loyalty. Take this one right here. They're everywhere. So it gets that one might wonder, why would anyone else even bother to compete? So why do they? I collect a few of these, since they're all the same size. Now, both of these brands serve the same product, the same service. One is a more established brand, global entity. They serve 20 million people a day, while the other, a thousandth of a percent of that, 0.001%. Definitely bigger. You can even see that here. So how is it that this smaller business wins my business every time? Why do I seek them out whenever possible? First off, they invested in soundproofing, which keeps conversations to a minimum and loud phone conversations away from me. They always have a killer playlist going that they also make available offline so I can listen to while I'm working from home. And they even have artists paint live in their store, and known musicians do pop-ups on the regular. They make it a scene. So as you can see, these various touch points of their brand, well, that makes them a much bigger presence in my mind. That's simply perception. But perception is reality. By understanding their ideal customer and the experiences that I want to have, they end up being a bigger presence. They're not competing because they're playing a different game than them. Now, there are many ways for your customers to participate with your brand, their brand's atmosphere. It might take your brand several touch points and positive experiences to generate impact, both in perception and impression. And it's in that aggregate that your brand equity is built. Now, a negative experience with your brand, that can erode the trust and that very same brand equity. It may only take one poor experience with your customers to negatively affect that relationship. And in these new spaces, you have to consider that how you see things aren't exactly how they might experience them. So, where you may see clarity and consistency and believe they will see it the way I see it. You delivered your message as normal, your same features, your same benefits, the same old slide deck. But then the responses come back and it all lands a bit flat. If it lands at all and doesn't crash, they may experience confusion and frustration. Your intentions and messaging get lost. Point is, none of it matters if you don't lead with what they need, not what you need. And when you do, they'll be aligned with you and your vision. You'll not only get better results, but deeper impact. Because, as Marty Neumeyer might say, brand isn't what you say it is what they say it is. With my personal caveat, which is based on the effort, actions, and consideration you put into it. The art of brand, it's shaping the perceptions through the tools and strategy at your disposal. Now, this is made all the more clear through this time we're living in. Results we once took as the standard, they're no longer guaranteed. The features and benefits that you once thought invaluable feel like they become a commodity to everybody else. You have to differentiate yourself to the customers you wish to attract. Because if you can't establish a meaningful difference, they'll go to the one difference they do understand, and that's price. So, how does one stick out? I don't know about you, but the word pivot seems to have lost all meaning these days. Everyone pivoted to this platform or that platform, online or virtual. Did you pivot? How did you pivot? You should definitely pivot. I understand, don't get me wrong. The anxiety is very real. But to pivot without a strategy, a plan, that can be like throwing darts at a dartboard without even knowing the game you're playing. So, returning to your brand's values, their purpose, and the reason for being, that why, that's what's going to help guide you to make the decisions on how to best take advantage of new opportunities. If you focus on analysis and solving of the problem at hand, then those typically reward linearly. But if you take a step back, you may notice the problem as a symptom of a greater opportunity. And those opportunities, they reward non-linearly. So your brand strategy, it's about being attractive to your ideal customers and winning their hearts and minds. So not so simply that they buy, but love and advocate for you and your brand. When you make the effort to know how to talk to them, wherever they are, whether here or here, you fill a unique spot in their brain, one that attracts, serves, delights, and empowers even. Do that, and your brand efforts no longer become an expense, but an investment that results in more customers at a higher profit over a much longer relationship.